pop up. Like, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday, guys. We're going to wait a few minutes for you to come on. If you're watching the replay, we're just going to wait a few minutes. Thank you for joining us. It is the last Wednesday of the month, so we're coming hard today with some Pinterest tips. Super excited. Thank you for being here.
I'm ready.
Yes,
Let's do this.
Oh, it's like the pump up for Wednesday. We got this. Good morning. We're just going to wait a few seconds and let some people come on. Good morning, Justin. Good morning, Miss Hampton. Good morning, Dre. We're ready. Heather had her pump up going. We're going to get it done. Good morning, Liz. Super excited to be here today.
I'm so ready for this. I've been looking forward to this since you mentioned it, because this community knows nothing about Pinterest, and I'm excited to share.
Yes. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode of Startup Bytes. It is Wednesday. This is your 3 times a month weekly show where we give you 5 tips in 15 minutes. Today we are focusing on Pinterest. I'm Kenesha. I am the program manager here at Startup Tucson, and this is my friend Heather. Heather, introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Ferris. I moved to Tucson on January 1st. We were traveling full-time prior to that, and we got stuck here. So I'm a fellow, I don't even know what you call yourselves here, Tucsonian. I don't even know how to say it, but hi, I'm excited to be here. I run a Pinterest marketing agency and education company where we help content creators and e-commerce sellers to get more traffic and more sales via Pinterest. And that's what I'm going to teach you today.
Perfect. Well, we're so happy to have Heather here because we do work with entrepreneurs that are in the creative industry as well as in the tech industry. So we want to make sure that we can combine those 2 things together, and she's going to tell you guys how you can use Pinterest, whether you're in the tech space or in the creative space, because it's not for just picking out your next bed covers or your next table setting. So Heather, let's jump into it. What is your tip number 5?
Tip number 5 is to get your profile started. We're going to go a little bit more into how to do that, but really tip number 5 is just to get started. So whether you have claimed your username on Pinterest or not, now's the time. So you're simply going to go to Pinterest and you're going to sign in if you have an account, and then you're going to add a business account to your existing profile. If you don't have a profile, you're going to sign up for one. And in the little sign up box down at the very bottom, there's a little tiny gray thing that says sign up for a business account. And that's what you're going to do.
Okay. Now, is a business account free, or is that something they have to pay for?
Totally free.
Okay.
It's totally free.
Tip number 5 is to go on Pinterest and sign up for an account. Guys, if you don't have a free account with Pinterest, make sure you have one, and especially if you have a business, there's a lot of wonderful gems on Pinterest for your business, but also that you can put back out into the atmosphere for other people's businesses. So Heather, what is tip number 4?
Tip number 4 is going to be, if you have a website, you're going to claim that sucker. So when you're on your Pinterest profile, or when people see your Pinterest profile, they see your URL. And that also gives you an extra little bit of access to analytics. So you can see later on, once I give you the other tips, how your content is doing on the platform. It's much like Facebook's analytics with reach and engagement and all of that good stuff. So you're going to claim your website because we want people to know that you have a business.
Perfect. So if they claim their website on Pinterest, and eventually, as we're going down the tips, I know you'll go into it. What is the difference if I just have a personal account? I know the analytics are so important, but if I just want to do a personal account and put my business stuff out there, what is the difference between a business account and the personal account? And why is it important?
So, a personal account is literally just that. It doesn't give you access to anything except for your profile and your boards. That's pretty much all you get access to is a profile with boards and pins. So with a business account, you also get access to your analytics, you get an ads manager, and you get all sorts of other fun ways to create pins and share those with the community on Pinterest. So a business account is vital. You don't want to use a personal account for your business. You can't put a URL in your business or in your personal profile. You can pin your business stuff to your personal profile, but it really doesn't give you any benefit as a business. You can't see how you're doing, and that's the whole point.
Perfect. Well, what is tip number 3?
Tip number 3 is to understand that Pinterest is not a social media platform. Pinterest is a search engine, and it is a visual search engine. So a lot of people don't understand that. They think that it's just a place to go and plan their family meals. That's how I used it for years, or to plan their wedding, things like that. But it's really so much more. There are so many industries on there. The alcohol industry is promoting on Pinterest. Hello, you can't even buy most alcohol online. But they are there. So it's a search engine, and people are there actively looking for content, and they have a search bar and they search terms. And then there's all these other suggested things. And then when you click enter on a search term, all these images come up, and that is the search results. So they're visual, yes, but a search engine. Think YouTube for videos, Pinterest for images.
Okay, so most people don't know that Pinterest is a search engine, and it's the number 2 search engine, right below Google. So when they're using this as a search engine for their business, are they using keywords? Are they using proper search terms? Like, what is it that they're using to make this besides just visual?
Yes. So with Pinterest being a search engine, you are going to use keywords much like you would when you're optimizing for Google or YouTube videos. Same thing. Pinterest, actually, you just use the platform. There's no additional tools or anything like that. Like you have all kinds of extra tools for Google search, keyword research. You don't have that with Pinterest. You literally just use the platform. You can use their trends tool, which is embedded in your business profile. It's in the little menu. You can use that as an additional search tool, but it's really just the platform that you're going to use. So depending on your audience and what they're searching for, and you splice that against your content and your products, you're going to take that information to the platform. So what I like to tell clients and students to do is to brain dump the top 5 things that your audience is asking you and your products or services that you sell. And I want you to take those 2 lists to Pinterest and start typing those things in. How would someone find you? You can use the same philosophy for the Google search bar as you on Pinterest. So just take those items to Pinterest and start searching for them. So if you sell, if you sell macrame, I don't even know what that is. It just came to me. If you sell like macrame art, I want you to go to Pinterest and I want you to type in macrame art or home decor, like art, things like that. And I want you to just see what comes up.
The same thing as if you guys are doing it in your tech space. So if you're looking for like branding or something that you are working on that may already be on the market, use those keywords in the Pinterest search bar and see who else is out there and what they're putting out there for content. Tip number 2.
Tip number 2 is to create a you have to create Pinterest images that don't suck. But a lot of people don't know how to do this from the beginning. So tip number 2 is going to be create Pinterest images. And if you have trouble with this, or if you say, well, I'm not like a graphic designer, just use Canva. And they have plenty of templates in there that you can use. And really you don't want to just create Pinterest images to create Pinterest images. I'm sorry if you can hear my kids fighting in the background. You're going to create Pinterest images for your customer and for their journey to find you. So typically our customers are going through a journey before they actually decide to work with us or to buy our thing, right? They start in this awareness phase and they move through to the purchase phase. So you're going to create Pinterest images for each phase of that journey that they're going to go through. So we're going to educate them in the beginning. So you're going to create Pinterest images to educate them. And then you're going to create Pinterest images to push them towards the sale. And then you're going to create Pinterest images for your products and services.
Okay. So
that's a whole lot.
That was a whole mouthful. Okay. So the tip is for you guys to create beautiful images on Pinterest. For Pinterest. Use Canva if you're not a graphic designer. Guys, Canva is your friend. And they have cute little templates in there. You can just pop in your images and change the wording. So use Canva to create beautiful images for Pinterest. And phase 1 is to educate your clients. Phase 2 is to push the sale. Is that right? No, I'm missing something. Okay. Phase 1 is to create. Phase 2 is to educate. Phase 3 is to push the sale. And then you kind of want to wrap it up. So each pin should kind of tell that story and take them on the journey as they're going through the process of buying your thing. Remember that it's 7 touch points for people to buy your thing. So using Pinterest is a great way to give them all 7 of those touch points.
Yep.
Okay. And then what is your number 1 tip?
To start with an easy workflow. And I have an easy workflow for you guys. So when you are creating your content and you're putting it out into the world, a lot of people just don't even think about putting their content on Pinterest at all. So as you are creating your Facebook share images and your Instagram share images and all of that, I want you to remember that Pinterest is there for you. And people are looking for you right now. So I want you to go to Canva and I want you to use that magic resize tool and choose Pinterest pin. So when you're creating your Instagram image or your Facebook image, you're going to magic resize it to Pinterest, add some keywords for your text overlay, and then you are going to push your pins out. So this easy workflow starts with first, you're going to publish your content. Second, you're going to go to Pinterest and search for your keywords based on that content. So if your content is how to create a brand guide, then you're going to go to Pinterest and you're going to search for keywords around creating a brand guide. And small business tips and entrepreneur type tips, you're going to search for those kind of keywords. And then you're going to use those keywords on your Pinterest image. So when you do your little magic resize and you're typing your text in, you're going to use those keywords you just searched for. You're going to download that sucker and you're going to write a Pinterest description that's 500 characters long. It's about 5 sentences if you don't write really long run-on sentences. And you are going to then upload that pin to Pinterest. You can just use the native uploader on Pinterest. You don't need anything special when you get started. Just use the Pinterest platform. They have a native scheduler too. And you're going to schedule it or go ahead and publish it live to Pinterest. Then you're going to come back in 30 days and you're going to look at your analytics. See how well it did.
Okay. So tip number 1 is an easy workflow. Let's go through that workflow one more time, just top level. So they're going to publish content. You got to publish the content first. You got to
publish it. Yep.
We're going to research our keywords. We're going to create a graphic. Once we're creating our Facebook and Instagram, we're just going to resize that for Pinterest. We're going to write our 500 character, which is 5 sentences if they're not run-on sentences. And that is the little content that goes with your box, your Pinterest image. And then we're going to schedule that image and then we're going to publish that puppy, come back in 30 days, check and see what happens with the analytics. Right?
That's right.
Okay. So we're going to come back and review those tips. But a couple of things I want to ask you is if they're not using a native Pinterest scheduler, what are other Pinterest schedulers they can use?
I personally love Tailwind. There's also Buffer, Hootsuite. I think some of the Instagram tools will also allow you to schedule to Pinterest as well. I prefer to use Tailwind. I think it's the most affordable and the most straightforward.
Don't they have something new that's releasing like this week?
Yeah, they're releasing an image creator within the scheduling tool.
So that is another way for you just to schedule, to create your image and schedule within Tailwind. I like that. Okay, let's review your tips. So tip 5 was what?
Just get your profile started.
So start your account on Pinterest. Tip 4 is?
Claim your website, because we all have to, we're all a business and we want people to know we're a business. So claim your site.
Okay, so when you're starting your Pinterest account on tip 5, make sure you set it up as a business profile. Tip 4 was claim your website on your actual Pinterest business account. Tip 3?
I think tip 3 was Pinterest isn't a search engine. So just understanding that Pinterest isn't a social media platform. I'm sorry. Pinterest is a search engine, not social media.
Okay. So understand that you are using this as a search engine, even though you have all the cutesy little pictures. It is a search engine that ranks almost as high as Google. And then tip number 2?
Create pretty Pinterest images with Canva.
Okay, so make sure you're creating an image that you want to see. If you're scrolling, it should catch your eye at some point and not make you want to close the screen. And number 1
is to use an easy workflow. So publish, research, create, upload, analytics.
Perfect. Well, Heather, tell everyone how they can find you.
I am at heatherfarris.com, Farris. So HeatherFarris.com. You can find everything there. I have all sorts of free content on how to get started on Pinterest. You name it, I probably have it.
Well, thank you for joining us. We're going to go to some housekeeping, tell you guys what we have coming up next week. Next week, we have Fundamentals Q&A, and that's October 6th at noon. If you guys are interested in jumping into the fundamentals, you can either register online for the Q&A or you can sign up for the whole series, because that is open now. Next week, we are back with an episode of Startup Coffee at 9 a.m. With Selena. No, it's not at 9 a.m. I think it is at 9 a.m. We're back. It's either 8:30 or 9. I'm sorry, guys. We are back next week for another episode of Coffee with Selena from Mirena Mobile Boutique. Anything else we have coming up, you can find on our website. Make sure you check out the new website and the digital guide. Thank you again, Heather, for joining us today. And thank you guys for joining us. And we'll see you next week for an episode of Startup Coffee. Bye, guys.
Bye.